Alrighty, let's make a quick landscape scene. The first and most important step, get rid of that hideous, perfectly symmetrical default cube. Add a plane, scale that puppy up. Now I'm going to be using the add-on Blender kit to drag some free 3D models in and materials into my scene today. So let's just drag in a low poly tree here. Then I'll just delete the particle system it has and just leave the tree. Next we'll drag in a random rock. Okay, grab that plane, pop into edit mode, and subdivide that thing like 20 times. Give it a subdivision surface and add a displacement modifier. Go to the texture settings and give that guy a noise texture. Boom. Though it do be a little extra. Crank it down to 0.2 or something. Shade it smooth and fiddle around with it because I'm never happy. Then find a bad angle like I am doing right now and snap your camera to it. Then fiddle around with it some more while you ignore Skype messages. Okay, drag your tree in, place it where you like, modify it how you like. I'm putting this rock over here where it lives, but you don't have to because I'll just be moving it later. Next we'll use the G-Scatter add-on to append some grass clumps. Next I'm going to use G-Scatter to scatter the grass clumps. Boom. Now we can play with the density and size to get the look that we want. Next I'll be using weight paint to only render the grass that the camera can see. Hit render.
Oh, it works.
Next let's move that rock back over here. Okay. Let's start sculpting out an area for the lake to go. Then we can add a plane and have that be our water. Now I'll add an ant landscape object and stick that in the background. Next I'll duplicate the trees, situate them, and this is what we got. And the first thing I'm noticing is the grass is too tall. Let's shrink that down. Next I start throwing trees in the background.
It's an art.
And render. Might have the particle distribution off on that grass. I'm gonna just take this piece of land and make it its own object. That way there's no grass getting rendered under the water and slowing down render time. Next, make sure Blender crashes. Beautiful. For some reason, G-Scatter is crashing Blender, so I'm going to go ahead and set up a quick particle system for this island. And F12. Better, I think. I'll make a few more changes and apply the particle system to the island in the background. Alright, time to give that water a water material. Nice. F12. What? Always problems, I tell you. Yeah, the grass is way too high. Let's shrink that down a little bit. F12. Better. Next I make a bridge and give it a material from Blender Kit. Then scatter some trees around in the background. Next I'm going to use weight paint to mask out a black area where I want the sand to be wet. Just, control the strength, make a nice gradient there. And then in the node editor, I'm just going to add a mix color node, vertex color, plug that in, connect that to the other side, add an RGB curve node, and then darken the area where we want the sand to be darker, like that. Next, I'm gonna subdivide the bridge about, 30 times or so. Then I'm gonna go to the modifier, give it a displacement along the Z-axis, go to the texture panel, and make it clouds, of course. Next, I'm gonna bring the ground up a little bit and scatter these rocks around. It's an art, not a science. There's something very relaxing about just scattering rocks around, Okay, add a plane, mix it with a transparent BSDF, run it through a noise texture, adjust the color ramp so that you get the black areas being transparent and the white areas being emissive. And that will make a nice haze or a nice fog quickly. Now let's add some sun rays or God rays. So I quickly add a plane, give it the emission BSDF, plug it into a mix node, transparency, you know the drill. Plug in a texture, make the blacks transparent, make the whites emissive, adjust the curve to your liking, make it very faint, make it look good. Now we have some nice light shining through those trees. I duplicated it around a few times and added along the water, give it a little mist. So yeah, I just tweaked the trees a little and this is the result. I messed with the lighting. I've been using the Natasha Sky Shader to light the scene. I made the contrast a little higher by making the sun brighter and the ambient light darker to really give it that golden hour look. Then I just added a vignette and dust particles in post. It's not a great scene, but I'd say it would do for the sake of a tutorial. I actually made 3 other scenes before this trying to find one I liked, but it was fun to make. This is my first time making a tutorial, so let me know what you liked or didn't like and I will try to improve at it. Anyways, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Peace.